Union City Housing Authority was set up to vote on their new attorney. It came down to just two applicants, current attorney Libero Marotta and Julio Morejón, who was also the North Bergen prosecutor. However, due to some unfortunate circumstances, that didn't end up happening. As a matter of fact, the meeting ended up being canceled. With board attorney Libero Marotta not present to defend himself, the Union City Concerned Citizens Group went on the offensive on a number of matters pertaining to Marotta being appointed to the board.
I wanted to explore the circumstances of his retention by the authority back in 2010. I provided with some documents that indicated there were basically two rounds of bids back in the fall of 2010. There was a first round where there were two participating attorneys, and it appears that Mr. Marotta was the not only the high bidder, but his scores were the lowest of the two contenders. But that after that, the authority then took action with new commissioners on the authority taking action to reopen the bid for, I guess, what I'm going to call round two, where 6 attorneys then submitted bids, and that the determination in round 2 did not involve any evaluation scores, which is customary with housing authorities under HUD supervision. Mr. Marotta, not to pick on one individual, but he was among the highest in terms of the cost among the 6 in round 2. He was the lowest ranked individual in the 2 participant round 1.
The UCCCG was relentless on the attack, even bringing up a criminal conviction from Marotta's past. But the board remained open to the questioning and did their best to provide answers.
And Mr. Marotta pled guilty to a federal felony for obstruction of justice back in, I believe, 1999 here in the District of New Jersey.
These concerns and questions,
right?
Were they part of your Oprah request?
No. No, what I've just said now is completely separate from the Oprah request, which was made by Mr. Alonso here.
Well, what I would suggest is, since you have these concerns and these questions, that you submit them in writing to the board, to the authority. Some of us, this is old news.
I understand.
You stated that a lot of the members on the board weren't aware of Marotta's past. The members on this board, is this their first year that they're here as members? Before
I've only been on the board a year and a half.
Okay.
It'll be 2 years in April.
Okay. So when an individual applies for this position, is he not supposed to put a resume in, and all the members are supposed to know what this individual's past is?
You mean attorney?
Yes, the attorney, yes, if they want to apply for the job.
That would be the normal procedure, yes.
Okay, so then you're saying that how many individuals on this board didn't know of Marotta's past?
I know him, but I don't know what he do, or I don't tell me that.
So you did know that?
I know because he lives in
problems in the
93. I
past.
know him for a long time.
After the meeting, Hudson County TV had a word with Housing Authority Executive Director Virgil Cabello. So Virgil, today you guys were expecting to pick a new Housing Authority attorney, but that didn't end up going down like that. The meeting was actually technically canceled. So could you explain to the public exactly what happened for those that weren't able to attend?
Yeah, usually we conduct the meetings with the presence of an attorney for any legal technicalities. Mr. Marotta, who's our attorney, took ill. He had a surgical procedure. Another attorney who was supposed to come in and replace him was also taken ill. And we got a call from our chairman to, postpone the meeting, which we rescheduled for December the 12th. All right. Now, I noticed you still took comments from the public, and a lot of those comments regarded, actually, Mr. Marotta. Were you familiar with a lot of the questions and comments they were making? Well, those questions were addressed at the time that Mr. Marotta was appointed to the board and so on the minutes. So, everyone was familiar with the type of question. However, they could answer since we didn't have a full board. I don't think it was fair to the members who are not here that will be able to respond directly to those questions. All right, that makes sense. And the only other thing is I understand that when you guys actually vote on the Housing Authority attorney, you don't actually put in a vote, right? Personally, no. Okay, so I don't know if this is something you'd care to disclose, but looking at the two resumes, which are Mr. Marotta and Julio Morejón, who was also the North Bergen prosecutor, who do you think was more qualified for the job? Well, I don't think I'm qualified to answer any legal questions. That would be a legal matter in terms of the experiences that these folks have. I think that's the board's responsibility.
Okay, fair enough. Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
I'm John Heides with Hudson County TV. For more information, log on to HudsonCountyTV.com.